Took this trade in the C period and waited for it to pop up over that overnight low, which is the orange line. I thought it might go, somewhere around that blue line that I just put in there. And then I have it kind of highlighted in the area that, I'm looking for. Right here, it pops up. And I just wanted to see it, test that area and get rejected out of there. And it does move a little bit higher, but you put a stop over that B high. I put in my 27 ticks, and ultimately I'm trying to clear that poor low at the bottom. But the problem, or what I didn't like about this trade, was that we were at the low part of the range that we've been in since like the 17th. I'll show it in just a second. It's basically that area where it's red, highlighted in red there, and it's also the settlement from yesterday. Right there, I show it. We've just kind of been bouncing off that, so I thought there was a good chance that we might come down, bounce off that, and then rip back to the upside. And it kind of fights me the whole time. You can see even right here, if it was weaker, it wouldn't have, went back up and tested that B high like this. But, ultimately, if I wasn't in yet, it even looks better, right? It's a cheaper trade at this point. But it does work its way down. And then what I was looking at here is I was trying to get back under that overnight low. It actually bounces off there a couple times, so it starts to worry me here. It's just one more thing that's building in my head, thinking about that ripping against me. And you can see how I have that arrow at the bottom from the AB low, and it's pointed up towards that C. That's just to kind of remind myself that C, come down there and tested that area. So it is kind of like stepping back up. So it's kind of like it's turning around. So I was, keeping that in mind. So all of these little things were building in my head. And, including the fact that we didn't seem to be able to get under that overnight low. So right here, one more chance it does get through there. So then it kind of gives me a little bit of relief. And I'm trying to get into that next node down there that I point out, the bigger node at the bottom. So now the next target would be the settlement, which is that green line. And then that, like I said, that's the high from the 15th. And we've been bouncing off it a few times. Because even though there's that poor low at the bottom, that could be exhaustion down there. So, I wasn't totally confident in this trade. You'll see when we get down towards that, which is a settlement or that high from the 15th, I end up taking one at about 22 ticks. Just because I felt like, at some point this should just kind of let go and kind of cascade down, take out my low, so I started second guessing myself, or whatever you want to call it. Reasons were building in my head why I wasn't sure that this was going to work out. So you do have the value area low right there, but I'm not paying too much attention to that. What I'm looking at now is, can we get under this settlement and like I said, the high from the 17th there. So I got rid of the drawings and just put my crosshairs there so you could see it a little easier. At this point, I pretty much want to keep it. If you look where my entry is, you can see that that's the top of that lower node. So I pretty much want to stay in that lower node at this point. I don't see any real reason to take a full stop out on this at this point. Like I said, I feel like we should stay in this lower node. Right there, I'm just checking to make sure that that's about 20 ticks, which is about the minimum that I like to take. That's 5 points. Right in here somewhere, it ends up being 22 ticks. Missed it there. Wait for it to come back down. I got 22 ticks on that one, so I break even the second one. And again, even at this point, I felt like, any one of these levels, once it broke those levels, I thought it would just start, moving quicker to that, to fix that poor low, and it just never does. So you can see that purple line there. That's the weekly value area low. So as we get down there, that turns into about 34 ticks. And I end up closing it right there. And it does end up fixing that poor low, but then the D period does take all of that back, and it kind of moves up a little higher. And of course, you had that. You had the G period was a pretty nice short, somewhere right in here. think on this push. Yep, right there was 34 ticks on that last one.